Absolutely. Thank you so much, Catherine, for having me here and giving us a chance to share all of the amazing things about Paro Center for Women's Enterprise. As I mentioned, I've been a business growth advisor with Paro now for 4 years. Carol, who is also a business growth advisor, and our roles with Paro are simply we're boots on the ground. We're out there finding the women who need the support, and we provide them with access to all the various programs and resources and funding that we have available. So without further ado, I will get my presentation up on the screen here and I will walk you through all of those programs, resources, and funding that are available to our Paro members. So you're gonna, if you see my face, I'm gonna be looking the other way a little bit because I have three monitors and I'm all over the place over here on my end. So Paro actually has recently expanded into Canada. So we first were founded in 1995. So we're celebrating 30 years this year, which is absolutely amazing. And now we're able to provide all of these amazing resources to women across Canada, which we're very, very excited about. And there we go. So, what is Paro? Paro is a not for profit organization. We are a social enterprise and we collaborate to empower women, strengthen small businesses, and promote community economic development across Ontario and now across Canada. Paro provides support to women in every aspect of their business journey, right from the very beginning. When a woman has an idea of a business, she's just getting started, she's just starting to grow her business. If she is looking for various growth opportunities to continue on that growth trajectory, and we even support women if they're looking to explore importing and exporting opportunities for their business. And even at that exit stage of the business, I've had some clients who weren't too sure what their options were for exiting. So we support you essentially on every phase and every stage of that entrepreneurial journey. And we do this in a variety of ways. So, one of which is through business counseling. Once you become a member of Paro, which is absolutely free, it's just as simple as going to our website, paro.ca, and completing the intake form. It'll ask you a series of questions about yourself, about your business, or the idea of your business, what your goals are, what your challenges are. And then once you're into our system, you'll be connected with a business growth advisor like myself or like Carol, or with one of our full-time Paro counselors. Having a business counselor available to you at no added cost is such a valuable and impactful tool in your back pocket. I like to tell my clients, I'm your back pocket Google. So instead of spending 20 hours researching and going down that white rabbit hole and trying to find the help and support you need, reach out to your counselor, reach out to your growth advisor, and we're more than happy to provide you with access to whatever it is that you're looking for. So whether that's something that we can offer to you through Paro or through any of our community partners, we always have a variety of different programs and other resources that are out there. I myself, I sit in a monthly regional funders forum, so I'm always getting access to other funding opportunities that I can match my clients with, etc. So having free access to a counselor is such a huge, huge, invaluable tool that you'll have access to in your back pocket. We also provide a variety of programs and services that are specifically designed for women at all the different stages of your business. And I'm going to go through with you in some of the upcoming slides some of those Bizcamps that we offer. Those are what we would refer to as our programs. And then thirdly is the funding. We have money. So I find whenever I get new clients, the first question that I get asked is, what kind of money do you have available to me? And we have three different sources of funding. So we have our Prosper Peer Lending Circles. We have the Women's Loan Fund, which is coordinated through the Women's Enterprise Organization of Canada, also seen as WEOC. And then we have the BizGrowth grant, which is a $5,000 grant, and we'll get into all of these details coming up. So the first thing that you would want to do before being able to access any of the supports that Paro offers is you would want to, like I mentioned, just go over to the website, paro.ca, and just sign up. There's no cost for it. There's no commitment. You're not going to be harassed. You're not going to be receiving a gazillion emails all the time. We're here when you're ready. So if you wanted to come in, take a look around, see what's available to you, we encourage you to do that. And when and if you're ever ready for that one-to-one interaction and support, then we're here for that as well. Here's a variety of the programs and services, and they range from, like I said, the Bizcamps. We have a variety of networking events, online learning programs, funding opportunities. We have a Paro French series for anyone who is in the Francophone community. We have a mentorship program as well, which I absolutely love. And because there's no slide for the mentorship program, I'm just going to go a little bit into that one for you. So again, this is a free service that's available to you. And you can access a mentor and receive up to 3 mentorship sessions for up to 1 hour long. So an example of what I've seen a lot of women utilize the mentorship program for is, so say for instance, you're setting up your Google Workspace and you're stuck and you're trying to create another alias email, or you're trying to do something and it's not working because God bless Google, it never works the way we want it to. You can reach out to your advisor or to your counselor and you can request to be connected with a mentor, and we'll find you someone who is expertise in Google Workspace, Google My Business, any of that, and they will be able to provide you with that one-to-one support and walk you through those challenges and barriers without having to pay someone for those types of professional services. So I highly recommend diving into those mentorship moments when there is a need for that. I've even done it myself, and it's such a time saver. We also bring our clients to a variety of trade missions. We recently just had one in New Orleans. And then we have our upcoming one is called Go for the Greens at Disney in Orlando, which is always a super fun one. And we have another one coming up going to Paris, which is going to be super exciting. I wish I get to go to that one, but not for me this year. We also provide support with exporting and importing. And we have our Wednesday webinar series as well. So lots of programs, lots of resources available for women. And like I said, at any stage of your business, we got you covered. A little bit about our Wednesday webinars. So these happen every Wednesday from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Different topic, different guest speakers every week. They consist usually of other Paro members who are presenting. They could be Paro team members, or they could be our mentors or other professionals who are looking for opportunities to facilitate their workshops. Variety of different topics. So some of our most recent ones was igniting your money magnetism, stress reduction tools, AI tools and tips. There was another 3-part series on how to use TikTok. And the great thing about this is that we have a really extensive library of all of these webinars that have been recorded over the years on YouTube. And when you join Paro, you will then have access to binge watch all of these amazing webinars, which is really great because, if you get tired of something on Netflix, you can just go on the Paro YouTube page. And next. Okay, now we're going to get into some of the Bizcamps. So the first series of Bizcamps is part of the She Rises collection. And this is intended for women who are just getting started in their business, or they just got that idea and they're trying to figure out what those next steps are. The Ready to Start a Business Bizcamp is a 2-session Bizcamp, 1 hour over 2 weeks. And essentially it just goes over all the things that you need to take into consideration before jumping into your business. And I'm not going to lie, there's been moments where I've done that. I've got that great idea and I went out and I made my logo and I made my social pages. And then I got into it and I realized, oh man, I just got myself into something much deeper than I was expecting it to be. So this is a really great biz camp for those women, just to make sure you're on the right page and that you have a really good grasp and understanding of what you're committing to before you actually get into it. Because once you get into it, you're in it. The Muka Mkwe She Rises Biz Camp is a 10-week program. This was built and designed by Indigenous women for Indigenous women. So we've had some incredible programs and incredible women. They feel supported, they feel included, and it's very specific to their needs their challenges and the barriers that they face. And then we also have a Bizcamp that is available for our Francophone community who are just getting ready to start their businesses as well. We have a foodpreneur biz camp. So for any women who are in the food industry, this might be a really great 10-week module biz camp that would provide some value to you. The 10 sessions include business planning, marketing, product development, quality management, packaging and labels, production economics, financial planning, sales and logistics, support and resources, and summary and next steps. It's facilitated through the Farm Food and Drink Organization and supported by Innovation Science and Economic Development Canada. I've had a few clients of my own who've participated in this biz camp, and it really helped to expedite their growth. So these were women who are already going to markets on the weekends and selling their products, but their eye on the prize is getting that product on grocery shelves. This is the program, this is the biz camp that will help take you there and getting your program on those shelves. Paro Jet Setter Biz Camp. This is women who have been in business for some time. They're a bit more established. They've reached the threshold of earning $50,000 minimum in annual revenue. And this biz camp, I believe it's another 10 sessions. It's either 8 or 10. It will walk you through the next steps to get you from $50,000 to $250,000. It'll cover things like how to delegate different tasks and how to make better use of your time, different tools and resources that you can implement, different automations. It's going to help you develop that plan, that strategic plan to get from where you are to where you want to be. And of course, just so you know, just as a reminder, all of these biz camps are free for you to access as a Paro member, okay? We also have a She Tech Biz Camp, and this is helping women integrate technology as a means to grow and to scale your business, especially with AI becoming so prominent. There are so many different ways that we can take all the different areas of our businesses and find automated ways to make things run more efficiently and effectively so that you don't lose your mind. So the She Tech program would help you develop that plan and that strategy to use the technology that's available to you to make your business optimized and efficient. We have an investor Q&A program as well. This is for women who are interested in going to explore venture capitalism, or they're looking for angel investors or any other sort of investors where it would require you to do a formal pitch. So this would help you with developing your pitch, preparing yourself for the types of questions that you would be asked by investors, and just understanding what that whole process looks like. I myself have done pitches, and there's nothing, if I wasn't part of a program like this, I would not have been prepared. So it really gets you prepared from right from the beginning and right through until afterwards, how to follow up, how to stay connected, how to foster those relationships with your investors. And this is facilitated by Dr. Ellen Farrell of Investor Q&A. Excuse me. And then the Elevate Biz Camp, this is for women who have reached that 250,000 threshold in annual revenue, and they got their eyes set on $1 million. So this one here is facilitated by Cheryl Himberg. It's a 6-month program that is facilitated weekly. Sorry, excuse me. So we only run this program twice a year. So the last one just started in July. The next session would begin in January. This one, however, there is a fee to participate in this one. It is highly subsidized. The regular price to participate in this program is $15,000. For members of Paro, you only would have to pay $195, which is a steal of a deal. Cheryl is amazing. I've had several clients who have taken this program, and they have since reached their $1 million in sales targets. Now let's talk about money, money, money. So first we're going to start with the Paro Peer Lending Circles, which is the easiest to access. I'm sorry, I'm just going to take a quick drink. So, a Paro peer lending circle is a group of women that consist of 4 to 7 like-minded, self-chosen women. And the whole intention of this Paro circle, aside from getting the money, is to receive and to offer peer support from one another. From the women that I've seen that who are in circles, the other thing that they're doing is they're collaborating together. They're going out into the community, they're hosting fundraising events, they're referring one another to other businesses, and they're really just uplifting and celebrating one another. There's a little fact out there is what is it? 7 women are 7 times more likely to succeed in their business if they surround themselves with other women in business. And I could absolutely attest to that. The business that I first started, my very first business, I tried to just do it on my own and it didn't go so well for me. And now that I'm in my third business, I lost track along the way, I think. And now I have an incredible network of women. I'm in a Paro circle as well. And they just bring so much value to my life. And just knowing that I have somebody that I can reach out to when things get tough, or somebody that I can celebrate when I have a small win that I want to share, it just makes it so much better. The funding that is available when you are in an active Paro circle, it ranges from anywhere from $500 to $5,000. So portions of that are grants and portions of that are loans. And the reason why we did this in these smaller amounts is that we wanted women to be more comfortable with the concept of borrowing money to grow your business. What we found is that oftentimes women are intimidated by that process of financing, borrowing money. It feels heavy, it feels cringy. But when you get started in smaller amounts and you see that when you're investing that money smartly, you can get a return on that investment. So you can borrow to grow. You do need to access the funding in sequence. So there are 4 stages. The first stage being a $500 grant and a $500 loan. So the way that this would work is that upon approval of your application, you receive the loan portion first. You go out and you buy whatever it is that you said you're going to buy in your application. You submit your receipts, and then you get the $500 grant portion. What I often recommend is if you're not comfortable with borrowing, you can use that $500 grant to repay. The money can be used for essentially anything, except for already incurred expenses. But I've seen women use the money for subscriptions, marketing materials, new equipment. Hosting an event is also a really great way to use that money because it generally will also produce revenue generation for you at the same time, which could help with that repayment. The second stage is $2,000. So $1,000 grant and a $1,000 loan. And then the third and fourth stages consist of a $3,000 and $5,000 loan. And you'll see here on the bottom, there are the interest rates are at 10%, and the monthly repayments start at $60 up to $220 for the $5,000 loan. Applications can be submitted at any time. They're reviewed on a monthly basis, so there are no timeline or deadlines to submit applications for your circle funding. The Paro Prosper Circle Bizcamp is simply 2 sessions that are made available to women who are interested in forming a circle. Oh, so sorry about that. It is a bit of a process to form a circle. One, finding the women that you want to be in a circle is really important. I always recommend being slightly strategic because these are women that you're going to want to have a trusting relationship with. You're going to be talking about finances. You're going to be talking about difficult things at some time. So you want to make sure that you're comfortable with the women that are in your circle. You can find women in your circle by going to local networking events, virtual networking events, or we even host circle networking events virtually, so you can meet other Paro members who are also looking for circle mates. So the BizCamp just walks you through that whole process, all of the forms that need to be submitted, all of your rules and all of the requirements and obligations. And that is run every month. The other funding source that we have available is the Women's Loan Fund. This is facilitated through the Women's Enterprise Organization of Canada. Paro is the provincial loans partner, so we are the ones who are processing the Women's Loan Fund applications here in Ontario. This funding is financing up to $50,000 for women who are looking for financial support to start or expand their business. The eligibility requirements are very extensive. You can use it for leasehold capital improvements, inventory, salaries, professional services, legal fees. The other thing that I found was really interesting that women can access this financing for is for owner contributions. So if you are applying for a grant, let's say, and there's a 50% owner contribution, which is equivalent to $15,000, but you don't have that $15,000 of capital to pay that portion out for yourself, you can apply to the Women's Loan Fund, get the $15,000 cash that you need to be able to contribute to the grant, and then you can repay after that. And there are interest-free payments available upon request for the first 6 months of your loan. There are a variety of interest rates available. It's dependent on whether or not you want your financing to be secured or unsecured. And Carol would be more than happy to go through that loans calculator for you and be able to give you a better idea as to whether or not that's something that you're interested in proceeding and exploring further. And then lastly, the BizGrowth grant. This is a $5,000 grant available to women in Northern Ontario to help you with accessing new markets. So what that could look like for somebody in Sudbury area is you want to access new markets in Toronto. There are a few ways that you can access this grant. The most popular that I've seen is attending an event. So whether it's a conference or a summit, going to an event like that where you know that you are going to be able to strategically connect with new contracts, new clients, new customers. We can use the BizGrowth grant to help cover the cost of registration, accommodations, or any marketing materials that you would need to go to that event. The other way that you can use the BizGrowth grant is for purchasing new equipment. So an example, I have a client who has an alpaca farm, and she was wanting to purchase a new sewing machine so that she can design a new line of thermalware. That would be something that she would be able to use the BizGrowth grant for to purchase the sewing machine or to get the training for the sewing machine. The third way that you can use the BizGrowth grant for is for purchasing software for your business. So we're not going to mistake it as like a subscription for Microsoft or anything like that. It has to be a very specific type of software for your business or your industry, like an SAP kind of thing or something like that. But those are the three main ways that you can utilize the BizGrowth grant for. There is a 10% owner contribution. So you can either max out the grant to 5,000 and pay in 500, or you can max it to 4,500 and you can utilize the $500 from the grant itself, so you're not out of pocket. The BizGrowth grant, there is no deadline to apply. Applications are taken on an ongoing basis. So if you are interested in the BizGrowth grant and you feel like there is some of these options that are available to you, and you are eligible, you must be making $50,000 in revenue annually. You must be in business for 1 year plus, and you must be 51% owned, women owned, to be able to access this grant. Carol would be happy to go through that process with you, give you some of the information, make sure that you're eligible, and then a pre-assessment meeting is scheduled, and then off to the races you go. These are just some upcoming events that I had already mentioned. But like I said, we do take our clients as delegations to different conferences and trade missions. The next one is going to be in September for the Go for the Greens, like I mentioned, in Orlando, Florida at Disney. It's more of a boutique style trade mission, so very specific market that you would be accessing there. And then we also have been taking clients to the SaaS North Conference. So any women who are in tech and who are building SaaS platforms, this might be a great option for you to explore. And then new to Paro is our self-made breakfast tour, which is across Canada. Our next one is in St. John's, and then we have upcoming events in Calgary, Ottawa, and Vancouver. We are proudly funded and supported by the Government of Canada and the Province of Ontario, and we are proud partners with Women's Entrepreneurship Knowledge Hub, Alternative Savings, and the Community Futures Development Office. And that is essentially the end of this presentation. So if there is anybody who has any questions or if there's anything further that you would like clarification on, please feel welcome and let's just have an open conversation.
Okay. Thank you so much, Melissa, for the beautiful presentation. And I hope that people have who have questions to ask and to better understand
the chat too. And if somebody feels more comfortable just putting it in the chat, I have the chat open too, and I'm happy to answer in there.
Okay.
Hi, Melissa.
Hello.
Hi, my name is Omobolanle, but a lot of people call me Mo. I have a question for you about the circles. So for the funding, for the circle funding, you have to exhaust one, pay it back before you move to the next one. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah. So typically the financial institutions will want a minimum of 5 repayments before you can repay the loan in full. But sometimes they don't. Sometimes they're open to just, if you have the money available and you just want to pay it off right away, you may be able to do that. And then at that point, you would then be able to move on to the next stage. It also depends on the circle itself. So if it is a brand new circle, say there's 6 members in your circle, initially only 3 of you are going to be able to access the first stage of funding. And then the other 3 members would have to wait a minimum of 5 months before they can access their first stage of funding. But after that point, anybody can access the stages of funding at any time. There's no more probationary period after that. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Thank you. And just to clarify, for each stage, you have to be on a stage for certain months before you move to the next stage.
Yeah, minimum 5 months. And then you should be able to repay the loan in full and then access the second, third, or fourth stage of funding.
Fantastic. Thank you. I have another question. So for the food farm program, do we have, because I've been waiting for like forever, do we have a date when the next batch is going to be launched, or is it still
Let me just take a quick peek. I haven't checked in this week yet. It should be opening soon. I feel like the last one was quite some time ago.
Yeah.
Like late spring. But let me just double check. And if I don't see it on here, I can always check in, or Carol can check in with our Paro head office. And I think there's an internal list of upcoming dates when everything is supposed to open up. But we can definitely get that information to you if I can't see it in here. Foodpreneur. Yeah, it's not currently open right now. So I'll make a note and I'll see if I can get that information. And actually, Catherine, I'll pass that info on to you if that works.
Yes, please. Thank you so much for that. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so Mo, I will share your email if you don't mind with Carol, and
yes,
once
please.
the information is ready, she can just
yes, please. I will appreciate that, Catherine. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Does anyone else have any questions or need any further clarification? I know it's a lot of information to take in.
Yes, it's a lot of information. Maybe if you still, if you find out that you have questions afterwards, you can still send them to me or to Carol.
I'm just going to ask another one. Just because I've been registered with Paro for some time, but I've not really had opportunity to participate in any of the programs. So Melissa, the the conferences, the seminars, the ones like the one happening in Ottawa and Florida, are these are they just handpicked by, or you have to apply to get approved to
No,
go to
you
those
just have to,
programs?
yeah, so you'll need to express interest. I know with the SAS North delegation, I actually went to that one as part of the delegation last year for myself.
Okay.
And I just expressed an interest and I
Oh,
ended up just covering my own expenses. If I was eligible to apply for the BizGrowth grant, I would have been able to do that to cover those expenses to attend that delegation for the SAS North conference.
okay.
Um, for the Go for the Greens trade mission in Ottawa, like I mentioned, that one's a bit of a boutique trade mission.
Oh,
So what we would end up doing is connecting you with her name is Karen. She's one of our coordinators at head office, and she's the one who processes all of the applications. And she would sit with you and have a meeting and just kind of have that conversation about what it is that you do, what it is that you're hoping to achieve, what kind of outcomes you would anticipate from that
yeah.
kind of event. And she
Mhm.
would give you a little bit more information. There's usually an info session, like a public info session.
Okay.
So maybe also just make a note for Carol and see
Mhm.
if we can find out when that info session is so
It
that
would
we
be
can make sure that that's a good fit for you. Yeah.
fantastic. Thank you for the update.
Yeah. Did I see someone else have
Caroline?
their hand up?
Caroline?
Yeah, all right. Thank you very much for the presentation. And I think it is the first time I'm even hearing about this organization. So it's good I'm being
It's so
educated.
funny to me how we've been around for 30 years, but so that I think the reason for that is because we were from Thunder Bay. And it's only really been in the last few years that Paro has started to have a bit more of a presence here in Sudbury and where I am here in North Bay.
Oh, all right. Thank you very much. So, when in the beginning, when you started talking about like programs you run and different
Yeah.
funds, you talked about something to do with, is it, if I remember, was it Rise and Shine or something that targets
Oh, the
Indigenous women? And I felt like it's something that oh my God, this sounds so weird. Something that I like because it feels like it fits in the category that I'm looking at. So my question is, how do we fit into that when we are not Indigenous women? I'm just asking for myself and for those who'd like to join. And then lastly, I didn't get very well. I think it was like the third one about startups. I think I'm also interested in that. Then yeah, that's it. How do we access it and more information about it? Then yeah, that's that's
yeah,
that's my question. I was just thinking clarity. Thank you.
perfect. Thank you so much, Caroline. I think what you're referring to was the She Rises program. So those ones are intended for women who are just starting their businesses, whether they have that idea, that big, beautiful idea, or they've actually just kind of started getting into their business. Maybe they're doing a couple of services here and there. So there was the Ready to Start a Business, Bizcamp. So that was the one
Yeah,
where we, right? They're just kind of walking you through what to expect when you start your business. These are all the different roles that you're going to have to play. These are the different responsibilities, right? Different expenses that you may not have considered, and just making sure that you're making a decision that aligns with where you're at. The Mukam Kwe She Rises program, that one for Indigenous communities, I'm not too sure exactly because I know that there's so many different Indigenous communities now. So I'm it's never really been clear if there's a specification as to which Indigenous communities it's available to. Caroline, have you signed up as a Paro member yet? Like, are you in the system?
no, I'm not in the system because it's actually my first time learning about it, and I think it's a very interesting
Oh,
platform that I should join. So that's the reason I think I'm asking so many
yeah, yeah.
questions that yeah, that can
Oh,
easily
that's so
be
great to
answered.
hear. So what I would recommend doing is I just put the link in the chat to go to our Paro website, and up in the right hand corner you're going to see it's called My Paro Path Login. If you were to click on that, you can submit an intake form, and then automatically you're going to have access to a Paro client portal. So once you fill out the intake form, you would then just go to that Paro Path login button again, and then you prompt like a password reset so you can get into your profile. I hope this is making sense. And then once you're in your Paro client portal, which is such a mouthful, all of the information is going to be right there for you. All of the Bizcamps that are open and available are going to be listed, and you can register for those there. It'll also tell you all of the upcoming webinar series that are happening. You can apply for your mentorship program in your client portal as well. So everything is kind of available to you. And then you would be working probably with Carol in your area. So if you ever have any other questions or follow-ups, or you need that one-to-one support in accessing anything, she'll be able to follow up and connect with you and support you in that capacity as well. Does that help?
Yeah, thank you very much for the clarification and the information provided. Yeah, thanks.
Awesome. You're so welcome.
Any other questions?
No. Oh, well, thank you everyone for joining. It's so lovely that you were able to take your time and to be here with me today and to learn about Paro. It was such a pleasure to be here, Catherine, and we really appreciate the opportunity to share our programs and resources and funding. I know you have Carol's information so that you'll be able to share with everyone here today. Yeah, it was so great to meet everyone. Thank you so much for the time.
Thank you so much, Melissa, for stepping in for Carol and for the information that you provided. And thank you everyone for being here. And I apologize, I mixed the link. I sent you the link for tomorrow's webinar instead of today's, but thank God you were able to make it. And thank you again for being here with us. And I hope you learned a lot. And this session has been recorded, and it will be available on our website. And if you want to listen to it again, I will share it with you. Thank you, and I wish you a good day, end of day. Thank you.
Enjoy your day, everyone.
Thank you,
Take good
Melissa.
care.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.